Hello, I'm just going to do a quick video about traveling to Vietnam, some of the tips and tricks that I picked up over there, and hopefully this video might be of use to someone. It might help if when you go to Asia for the first time, it can be a bit daunting. Some of the things to be aware of and some of the things to avoid. So I thought I might do a quick video while it's fresh in my mind and go through some of these points. And if you want to pause the video to look at it in more detail, you can pause it and read it thoroughly. But I'm just going to go over it pretty quick so to save time. But anyway, here we go. So when I'm traveling to Vietnam, I usually go to Hanoi or Saigon for a couple of days and then go to Da Nang or somewhere like that, just to Da Nang or Nha Trang International Airport, so you can just fly straight in there. That's what I'm going to do next time. I'm just going to go straight to Da Nang, but it's nice to have a look for a couple of days around Hanoi or Saigon or whatever. The taxi drivers don't speak English, so Google Maps was essential on my iPad. I use my iPad so much over there, and you've got to be able to point to the address on Google Maps so they know where to go, because otherwise trying to get through to them or to the Grab driver or whatever. So the taxis over there have a fee for the airport. I first thought they were putting a scam on top of the meter charge, but it was legit. It turns out it was legit, but I looked it up, and the best way to go though is to use Grab, book Grab on the app, but don't go with Grab driver if they charge you cash. Best to book it through the app, and don't think because if you use taxis, don't think because they've got a meter they're legit. You've got to look up on the internet, which there's only a couple of legitimate taxi companies that they recommend to use in Vietnam, so look up. If you intend to use taxis, look them up, but I'd recommend using Grab. I wasn't big on, I don't use Uber at home here, but Grab was the first time I've used one of those services over there, and it was really good, so that's what I go with, Grab now over there. And a lot of people use motorbike taxis for short trips. Just make sure you agree on the price, and if they try to charge you extra, just pay them what you agreed on and walk away, and they'll usually leave you alone. I've had a couple of them try to rip me off. I said, no, you told me what price we agreed on, now don't try and scam me. And they thought better of it than trying to take me on, I believe, and they left it at that. So cyclo scammers, where they sit on the back bike and you sit on the seat at the front, just avoid those. There are a couple of legitimate ones that do tours around, but those old crappy bikes that the old guys are sitting on, they'll usually rip you off, and they'll tell you one price and then they'll get you out of town and then try to rip you off. The best way I found was to hire a bicycle around places like Hanoi. Hanoi, you can ride a bike around Hanoi. I wouldn't ride a bike around Saigon, but places like Hoi An and that's really nice on a warm night to ride your bike around Hoi An. It's a beautiful city there, and I keep a rubber band around my large notes because it's easy to get a 20,000 dong note confused with a 200,000 dong when you're tired and you're not really concentrating on what you're doing. So it's best not to drink the water even if it's boiled, because I read that it can have traces of arsenic in it, so only drink bottled water. The ice cubes with the hole in it are safe to drink, but the ice cubes like you make at home, you avoid those because you can get contamination from those. It's a serious issue, the water over there, so I wouldn't recommend drinking it. I'm just going through these. These are no particular order. Just as I recalled them, I wrote them down on here. So visa on arrival was very stressful. The first time I got a letter of invitation on this Vietnam visa, an online agency. I thought, oh my God, this is so dodgy, but it turned out to be okay. It went through no problem. The visa on arrival, the embassies will warn you not to do that because they want you to pay them. they want you to pay them about $100, but I had no problems with it. But I was a bit nervous about it the first time when I used it, but I had quite a few scammers approach me. You just don't go with them. They asked me to go with them to see their daughter because she was thinking about going to Australia. I said, no, you bring her here. No, they didn't want to bring her here. They wanted me to go with them, and of course they would have delivered me to scammers. They were scouts, obviously, and they were the kindest old lady. You'd never suspect her. And they deliver you to scammers, and they get a cut of it, obviously, whatever they get off you. But the ATMs have quite a low limit, so just be aware of that. If you intend to use ATMs, just be aware what you can get out. Your daily limit is on your card, whatever you're using. I just took cash with me. I didn't bother using the ATMs, but if I needed to in an emergency, I found out they have fairly low daily limits on it. You need to take a universal converter plug for the power. Don't rely on the hotel to have one, but I used my 2-pin plug in the Vietnamese socket, and it worked to charge my old phone, but I wouldn't try that on an expensive device. I didn't care if it damaged my old phone, but it worked fine. So in an emergency, you can get away with those 2-pin plugs, but depending on what country you're from, you can't do that with an American plug, I believe. So, but I use Booking.com for the hotels. If you just walk up to the desk, they'll charge you extra. I said to them, would you just give me the price on Booking.com without me having to book it through Booking.com? And they said, no, we can't give you that price. So I just booked it before I went in, and it was fine. Just showed them the booking number. I like to have zips on my pants pockets and can pickpocket you so quick over there. I've talked to quite a few people who have been pickpocketed over there in confined spaces in markets, and that they're very skilled at pickpocketing over there. And all of Asia, that pretty much applies to all of Asia. Most people have seen the videos about crossing the road. You just walk at a steady pace. You don't stop in the middle, and just keep eye contact with the traffic, and just be aware that they can come down the road the wrong way on motorbikes. They often do, and on the footpath as well. The public buses, like the one from Da Nang to Hoi An, they charge you double if you got bags. They're not really allowed to do that, but they do. It's not worth arguing with them. It's only a couple of dollars, so just pay it and just deal with it. It's not worth the hassle. So if you hire a motorbike or anything, that's pretty standard common sense. If you hire something, just take a picture of it. Just beware of those fruit poles scammers. They'll have a bamboo pole with fruit baskets balancing each end. They'll offer you to take a photo, and then they'll try to scam you exorbitant prices to buy fruit off them. And just walk away and just avoid those sort of people. If you're waiting for a tour bus or something like that, they'll come up, they'll drive up, and they'll say, oh, the bus is not running today. I even had the hotel staying at tell me, oh, the bus is not running until 2 o'clock today. And I said, oh, actually, I looked it up on the internet. It is running from 5:30 today. And they were quite shocked that I caught them off guard a bit, because they were going to get me a private car, which they obviously would have got a cut out of it. But it's important to know, right, before you land, you need to know what $100,000 dong is in your currency. In Australian dollars, it's about $6. So that just lets you calculate very quickly what you're paying for stuff, because it's very confusing with the currency. There thousands, hundreds of thousands you can be paying. So it's just easy to do a quick calculation on it, and I knew exactly what I was paying roughly by that, just using that method. And bring some coffee, instant coffee. The instant coffee is terrible in the hotel rooms. I take instant coffee with me, just to boil the kettle, put bottled water in the kettle and boil it up. And I took a calculator with me. A lot of the shops will have calculators so they can show you the price, but I just had a little calculator with me, just to make sure they was understanding me and I was understanding them on the price. if you go to somewhere like Hoi An, they won't have any prices on the shelves of the shops or anything. They just make up a price on the spot, so you've got to be wary of that. And none of the market stalls, they don't have prices on anything, so they make up prices for the locals and for the visitors. So something's missing from the hotel room, just let them know and get them to check the hotel room before you go. That's pretty standard. Some travel agents around that they see on this, you see these small shops that are travel agents, they'll make out that they do this extravagant trip, and they'll tell you they go to this place and that place. What they actually mean is they speed past these places on a boat, and they don't actually stop there, which they give the impression that they stop there, but so you can get a bit ripped off that way. Quite a few times they had them try to give me the wrong change. They'd give me 20,000 instead of 200,000, and they'd pretend like they made a mistake. You've got to be very careful, watching all the time what change you get back. Massage places are dodgy pretty much anywhere. They have a cute girl out the front, then an old woman ends up doing the massage, but it's not bad anyway, because the older women are usually more experienced at it than the younger ones anyway, so it's not really a scam. It's just something to be aware of. But they get a SIM card when you go there. I always get a SIM card straight away. The guy that I bought it off even set it up on my phone for me, and I had signal. I had very good signal coverage wherever I went. It's absolutely essential to get a SIM card. I get the data SIM. It lasts for, you can get different time lengths or whatever, and different data amounts, but just you can get them anywhere. A lot of places sell them. Vaccinations, I didn't worry about getting vaccinations, but they obviously recommend you get vaccinations 2 weeks before you go, but you need to check out with your doctor if that's required. If you need the police are the ones in the green uniform, not the ones in beige. The beige ones are just traffic police, and they won't help you at all. Don't count your money. Let's see a lot of people counting their money when they get it from the exchange place on the street. That's just asking for trouble. I just go get my money exchanged where I see the locals getting their currency exchanged, and they ripped me off at the airport. I got through fine with AirAsia, but when I was coming back with Vietjet, I got a ticket for $70, and then they charged me $35 because they said my bag was over, and it wasn't, because I checked it on 2 scales and it was 7 kilos. And she says, "Oh no, that scale's not accurate. This one's accurate because it's digital." It was obviously rigged. Before I could grab the bag, she checked it and charged me for it. So I won't be falling for that one again, but that was a scam for sure. And anyway, it's not a big deal. If I was on a budget, it would have hacked me off, but I wasn't too annoyed about that. But just, you have a bit of a laugh about it when you get back, how cunning they are. But not a good idea to walk around looking at a map. I see a lot of people walking around looking at maps, and not a good idea just asking for someone to scam you. My devices were set to recognise what country I'm in, so I had to find out how to undo that and to put it back to English. But just best to just set it before you go. Watch out for little kids. They come up and put their arms around you, but they're most likely trying to pick your pockets or see where your wallet is. You think, oh, they're adorable. I won't say all kids are like that, but a lot of the time they will be. Pickpockets or reporting back to parents standing close by. I've had people tell me this, that it's happened to them. People have told me about getting cameras ripped out of their hands. That's quite common over there. A few girls have been groped by motorbikes going past. I had a motorbike hit me in the arm with the handlebars, so I worked out better to walk towards the oncoming traffic, because the footpaths are just crammed with crap, with motorbikes and tables and Christ knows what. So you're better off to walk towards the oncoming traffic, and just keep an eye out, because they might be coming the wrong way or down the footpath or anywhere over there. It's It's as mad as a box of frogs over there. I had a couple of times where I got students to just help me out translate when I got into a couple of situations, but I gave them a few dollars for their trouble, but they were more than happy to help. They didn't ask for money. I gave them to it anyway. I gave them just a small amount just for their trouble, and they were very helpful, very good. The student age, usually most of them speak English now. There's a lot of students that will show you around places like the markets and that, and tell you what foods, what. I got quite a few of them. I had quite a few of those tour guides. Like, they're not really. I mean, you can find them on. I found a few by people recommending them off YouTube videos, but I'm sure you can Google them and that. So, but in all, I really enjoy my time over there, just pointing out a few things that might be of use to someone. Hopefully this might help someone to avoid getting scammed or something, but just thought I'd quickly put this video out there, and if you do travel over to Asia, just be careful, just use a bit of common sense. I mean it's a great place. It's really worth going, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. And as I said, I'm going back again. So if you go over there, I wish you all the best and stay safe. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.